as I said, we are carrying on with your fix of edutainment on this particular Entrepreneurship Tuesday. I go by the name of Barry Moses, or it's Barry Mokwa Kila Mtandao wa Kijamii, and I have a guest in studio with me. The first segment was on the music business, but this one is a little bit different. I'm told it is his title is a serial entrepreneur. That's somebody who involves himself in multiple businesses. He goes by the name of Erick Arwa. He's a graduate of electrical engineering from the University of Nairobi, a published author, a youth entrepreneur, and a community development education enthusiast. Erick Arwa, karibu sana.
Thank you very much.
So many titles to your name, and so many things that you are doing currently. But first, before I go to your history, you're a published author.
Yes.
Introduce yourself kwa wale hawakujui, so we can talk about this particular book, because I love the title.
You have already introduced me. You need me to introduce myself again.
All right. Yes, maybe there's something I left out. So maybe you can tell them.
You didn't leave anything.
I didn't leave anything out. You're not a husband.
I'm not a husband.
All right, so
single forever.
I got everything right. But Erick, you're a published author, and the title of the book is very interesting. You just graduated from the University of Nairobi. What is the title of the book? Tell me more about this.
The book is a student do-it-yourself guide that helps students understand how they can excel in their academics. Particularly, I wanted to show students who are in under-resourced schools, how they can scale through the hearts of academics, so that they can actually compete well with the rest of the Kenyans, because there are some ideas that are not expressed so well within in schools that are under-resourced and understaffed. So I looked at the way I excelled in the exams, and I said, why can't I also teach other people how they can do it by themselves without necessarily me being there to guide them through.
And so you really excelled in your examinations. And the cover of the book is here. We have the author, Arwa O. Erick, the smart student guide. How can they get a hold of this book?
This book is self-published. Self-published books are not easy to distribute. So most of the copies, I'm the one who holds the copies. So I move from school to school. I sell them. In case somebody wants to get a copy, they can just get to me or get to my page, the Smart Student Guide by Erick Arwa. They can send me a message. We can organize for them to get a copy.
All right, Erick, did you go to an underprivileged school, as you say, by chance?
I really can't say so, but I went to Mbita High School. Mbita High School was not really privileged, but then when I was learning in Mbita High School, I had never seen someone with an airplane. So it was a norm that somebody could really work hard, do their work up to Form 4, and they excel so well. And then when it reaches the KCSE, they can't score so well in English and Kiswahili. And therefore, most of the students used to reach 80. So when I got to Form 1, I wanted to challenge that
norm, right?
That norm. So when the principal came and asked if there is any Form 1 who wanted to get an A when they get to Form 4, I was the only one who raised my hand.
All right.
So it challenged me to work. By the time I was in Form 3, I had set a target that I wanted to be at the top 10 in Nyanza province. But then we had these guys from Maseno who believed that Nyanza province is theirs. So it was an opportunity to actually challenge.
There's another school in Nyanza that you're forgetting about.
Yes?
There's the other school in Nyanza. There's Maseno and the other one.
Maranda. But then Maranda had not really shown itself to be a strong school. It was almost at the level of Mbita High School. But then Maseno was really a giant. So that time it was an opportunity to actually put the name of Mbita High School among the academic giants, and we did it.
Fast forward, you have a book, and there's a stamp on your book, 14th student nationally in KCSE in 2009.
Yes.
Wow. And you are the best student in chemistry?
In Kenya.
In Kenya?
Yes.
And you went to an underrated school? for lack of better words, people didn't expect this from your school.
People didn't expect that. People expected a common A-, and for my father actually expected me to get a B or a C+.
So you surprised everyone?
Everyone.
Which led you to writing this book, The Smart Student Guide?
I had been one of the students who was sent to a school called Nyagatugu in Central Province, next to Abadeas. So as I was in classroom teaching, we were doing a mentoring program. It's called residential mentorship that we designed at Equity Group.
This is after Form 4, yeah?
After Form 4, at Equity Group Foundation. So as we do our work, there are some methods that I was trying to help the students adopt. And then I realized that the students who adopted these methods were excelling. And one of them, called Laban Mwangi, actually managed to get a scholarship to study at the University of Toronto in Canada. So I thought, if a village school, 5 acres in size, with just a few teachers, no library, no established lab, people just get a B and get out with only 3 university entry points. I thought that was a good thing. If we could make global scholars out of local ones by simple methods, then these methods needed to be immortalized, like to be made to exist even when we no longer exist. So the best way to immortalize ideas is to put them in a book.
All right, the best way to immortalize ideas is to put them in a book. If you have ideas and they're working, put them in a book. The word to Erick Arwa himself in studio with us on Y in the Morning. Y254_ channel is our handle on Instagram. Y254 channel on Twitter. Y254 on Facebook, or you can hit me up directly at @etsbarimo. So after this, you were part of the Equity Leadership Foundation.
Yes.
The guys who came up with this, some of the founders.
Well, Equity Foundation existed before us, before we joined it. But then it was not a formalized mentoring program or a leadership development program. So we came up with this what we called Equity African Leaders Program Journal. This journal is online. We wanted this group of brilliant scholars from all over Kenya to come together and tell the African story by themselves. It's an issue that has been worrying me, that African story is being told by the West. You can actually go to US to study Africa.
Yes.
Yeah, African studies.
African studies,
and that is really sad. Yet you leave the lab, so somebody leaves Africa to go and study Africa in the US. It's a sad situation. So we thought that there was a way we could come together as scholars to tell the African story by ourselves. And then the group...
What was the brainchild of this brilliant idea?
This idea was a brainchild of several people.
Several people, you being one of them.
I was one of them. So when this was brought together, then we said, can we make this program a leadership development program? So that it's not just an internship program where people come, work as tellers and go. So we decided to include the leadership part of it. And during that time, there was also a scholarship program, which we now wanted to make bigger than the foundation then. And therefore, we had to seek partners like MasterCard Foundation, USAID, DFID, UK Aid, and other donors.
Are you still participating in this, or you left it to the... the guys you mentored? Alumni,
there's an alumni program. We actually have a Facebook page, there's a website. We interact. We still have mentorship programs that go around all universities up to Harvard, MIT. We have programs in Oxford. Actually, one of the co-founders of ERP Journal, called Mungai Munene, is in Oxford currently. So we have a global forum where people interact.
Before we head to you going to the University of Nairobi to pursue your undergraduate, are you still in contact with the CEO, Mr. Moy?
Yes.
All right, nice one. So
I worked in his office. He loved me. He used to come to my office, call Eric, what are you doing today? And he used to see through my work. During that time, we were doing a proposal to USAID to to bring their scholars into the program and finance the rest of the work. And he was happy with me, and he tasked me with very huge things, like putting up the residential program at Nyagatugu, which is his home school where he went to school, and later went to Kagumo. So we were personal buddies, and he also purchased several copies of my books and distributed all over, so it's a good thing.
I like this guy. I like this guy. Very brilliant. So after this is post Form 4. You went to the University of Nairobi, pursued your degree in electrical engineering.
Yes.
All right. You graduated. Now you're looking to go do your masters somewhere else.
Yes.
But there's something you're doing on the side, which is the reason we have you in studio today. You're pursuing farming in this country right now, in this day and age, when every youth is moving from the village to the city to pursue a career in something different. Yes, what is the name of your farming company first?
Multi-Forests.
Multi-Forests.
Yes.
It's special because you do tree farming, yeah?
Yeah, both tree farming. We also have an hotel called Afama Foods.
Afama Foods.
Yes, at Rangwe. This was put up to expand the market for our horticultural program. Project.
So which one came first? Is it the trees or the horticultural products?
At first, in 2015, when we registered it, we thought we are going to do forests. And then as time went by, we realized we were excited with the way the forests had transformed people's lives. We had this program where we would get an investor, we agree with a farmer, somebody who has some land, they give us their land and we make an agreement, and then we plant trees in their farm with a written agreement that they will be sharing the profit. But then we realized trees take really long for these people to actually see the benefits of farming.
So these are some things you learn on the way.
On the way, yeah.
So later on you decided to venture into horticulture as well.
Yeah, because horticulture, people are not really very patient. So horticulture gives returns within 3 months. So somebody would say, while I wait for the forest, I can give you part of my land. We also partner in doing this kind of work. And you find there are people who want to do good work, but they don't have knowledge. And then there's a problem at our village where farming is meant for losers, people who are not learned. And it is really sad. Sometimes I think poverty is a spirit that makes people think wrongly. Like, the bad villages vomit their best sons. So when you come from town where you are supposed to have really gained knowledge, when you bring the knowledge to the village, they tell you, no, we don't need knowledge here. Go back to town where we sent you and work there. We only need money.
All we need is money.
Is money,
and knowledge is more powerful than this money.
Yeah. So when you bring the knowledge that you have come with from elsewhere, they kick you out. We don't want you here. They called me bewitched.
Did you find a challenge trying to work with the villagers in these projects that you have undertaken so far?
Very serious problems.
Very serious problems.
Yeah.
Mention but a few.
One of them is capital. But capital was not actually one of my greatest problem. It is just something that comes automatically when somebody asks about problem. But mindset is the biggest issue. When people meet you farming as a graduate, they think you are bewitched. So nobody wants to support you in farming. So you have to really be a lone ranger in the village. At the same time, they say that you are a loser because losers are the ones who farm in the village. So while you move through, you are like going counter-current. So you have to overcome the gravity and all other resistance that come with going against the wind. So in the end, even those who work for you are themselves people who consider themselves losers. So when they come, they are interested in doing a little thing here, get money and go. Nobody really gives their all to the project because they know it has no future. They think it has no future. The other problem is when you have a land, an agreement with somebody on land, and then they decide to go back on their promise. They start demanding too much from you, which is not part of the agreement. And the other issue is...
So how do you solve that particular problem? Do you get into contracts with them? Written contracts?
When I notice people are that way, people get selfish and stubborn when they think they have nothing to gain from your work. And as from my spot check, I realized that people are so exploited by people who came as agripreneurs. Somebody has given you 6 acres of land. You have managed to do work there, and for 5 years you have bought several Pro Box, you have bought a tipper and all those kind of trucks. You are very rich, but the person from whom you got rich is still poor. So I said that
people are very skeptical now.
Yeah, can I develop a program where we can get rich together? So you help me work on your farm, then I connect you with the market, then we share the profit. So
the owner of the land is also involved in
actually
this process.
We sponsored some of their sons to high school. Up to today, we still pay school fees for some people on the same program.
So in the long run, you're still impacting the community.
Yeah, so people own the project. So it's difficult to really find my Skuma Wiki stolen, because I have eyes all over. This is ours. This is my son's school fees. This is my food. It is not Eric's shamba. So it was owned by the community, and I think it's a model. Immediately after I finish my master's, starting in January, I wish to come and build a community where a socialist village where people can work and eat together without depending on external...
And grow together. We are going to present some pictures on the screen. But before that, I'd like you to paint, or this is your other business that we're going to be talking about, but I'd like you to paint a picture for us. Let's get a perspective. So how is this Agro Forestry business like? Paint a picture for us. Say you have a piece of land. How long do you have to wait for your product? And how is the capital and the profits like?
Okay, Kenya is very interesting because people are running to real estate. It takes more than 100 times more money to invest in real estate than to invest in forestry.
That is 100 times.
100 times, or even more. Because if you want to invest in a forest, you just need to go to a deep and a remote place where you can get land at about 200 shillings per acre. And for that, if you have 1,000,000 shillings, you can buy 5 acres. An acre of eucalyptus takes about 10 years to mature, and you can sell at a throwaway price of, let's say, 2,000 shillings. If you planted 5 acres of eucalyptus, that is about 10,000 eucalyptus trees times 2,000. That will be 200 million.
200 million.
Yes, as returns.
Returns.
And to plant that, you need 60,000 or 70,000 per acre, depending on the place where you got the land. And multiply by 5, that is 300,000. For a paltry 1.5 million, you do a 200 million project.
And it gets to a point where you don't even need to work on it. They just grow.
After 6 months, trees can survive.
All right.
But if you want to do the same with real estate, here in Nairobi, we all know the story. You are sure you are going to be duped. You need
to follow up with 10.